We got hit by a hurricane just recently and my basement flooded, as you can see here. Today I like to share with you how I dealt with aftermath of the flood, DIY and budget friendly. My insurance is not paying for it, so I had to find a way to do it myself and without breaking my bank. I also want to make my finished basement flood friendly. So this is a long process. This will be in two parts as I am still working on it. There was about 2-3 inches of water, but my bathroom is stepped down and filled with water about 7 inches. Next morning all the water was gone. My sump pump started working again. First step was the cleaning and disinfecting. I used Lysol and Clorox. I turned on the heat. I turned on all the fans I had. I turned on the dehumidifier, opened all the windows I had. It is absolutely crucial to dry the basement as soon as possible before mold starts to grow. Because mold has no mercy. It doesn't fool around. That's why you can't lose time. You have to act quickly when this happens. I'm going to start with removing the moldings. Here are my tools. I used knife. I had a pry bar. Both of the ends came very handy. Then I had a small hammer. You don't need a big one, small, so you don't get too tired. You'll be using it a lot. And then a chisel. And of course gloves. These are disposable. They are not heavy duty, but I prefer these because when they get wet I would just dispose them and use new clean ones. A good mask with a filter. I got them the second day. I used the dust mask first day and I didn't like how I felt that night. Good knee pads with lots of protection and cushion. You'll be on your knees a lot. Again, I got them next day after not feeling great after the first day. I also had a jab saw, but I didn't really use it. When you are removing the base molding, you need to cut through the caulk or paint, whatever is in between your baseboard and the wall. So when you pull the baseboard, you won't pull the paint on the walls. And I was slowly separating from the wall in case there is some area I missed with my knife, like you see here. You see I cut them with my knife as I see them. Otherwise you can make a big huge messy look on the paint, because you'll see I'm not planning to cut the whole wall. I'm just gonna cut right behind the moldings. I could remove the moldings very easily. They were attached with brad nails, and I have MDF molding, which is actually a big no for basements. I absolutely encourage you guys to never use this MDF in your basement or any wet areas. As you can see, it's like a sponge. It sucks the water and also the mold already start forming. And right here there was so much water coming during the flood, so I'm very curious what is behind this, and it looks relatively dry from looking from outside, but we'll see what is inside when I open it up. This time I'm cutting the sheetrock with my knife. This sheetrock got soft from moisture, so it won't be that hard to cut it. I put my prior bar inside and right away it just fell off, so it actually lost its integrity and it has some molds on it. I actually have a French drain system, but the storm was so much, whole street was flooded. It was like a river, so my sump pump couldn't manage to push the water forward into the street outlet. Otherwise, this never happened before. I had never ever seen this kind of a storm before. But I'm not afraid of the next storm anymore, since I'm going to make this basement flood friendly. Of course, I'd rather not to have any flooding. It wasn't pretty at all, but it won't be damaging me as much as it did this time. Do you see how wet the insulation is? It's all soaked in water. Look at that. Please don't forget to hit the like button for this video if you get any value out of it. So I did this process throughout my whole basement. Remove the base moldings and then remove the sheetrock and cut the insulation behind it wherever was affected. And this took me about, I think, 5 days. I was alone by myself. This is a very tiring job, guys. It's not easy, especially if your body is not used to doing this type of work. But I managed, so you can too. Think about how much you're gonna be saving. Thousands of thousands of thousands of dollars. Trust me. Now watch this. Isn't that crazy? Behind my walls, this much water. If I didn't remove my sheetrock, well, it would eventually maybe dry, but it would take so long, and that would create lots of mold. So I decided to cut right here because this is right under my window. That's where the water was coming. I just want to see how much the inside of this area was affected. My window well was filled with water, and I'm assuming that water was coming out from here. Also, because some pump wasn't able to pump this water out, so French drain was filling up. So all the water from the French drain pipes were rising up in the walls. So that's the reason, I guess. All the insulations are wet. The water was rising inside the walls. But from outside, you can't tell. It looks like it's okay, right? So many base molding I removed, they look dry from outside. Once I remove it, I found the water in the back. So I'm going to replace this area with, I'm gonna put a little sheetrock pieces here where I cut. Looks like behind it is not too bad. It's just the bottom was affected and the top was dry. This area is under the sink in the kitchen. You might remember my kitchen from some other videos. What a mess. Ugh. I had to remove so many bags of trash, you have no idea. So don't forget to get yourself a box of contractor's bags. This is a future wall in the basement that I like a lot, but unfortunately I had to cut that too. But when I put the moldings back, I won't see all these ugly details. Did I tell you that I'm not planning to replace the sheetrock that I cut? It's gonna stay open, so that's my plan. Part of my plan. I also wanna use vinyl baseboard instead of wood, and insulation that is water resistant, just for the parts that I remove. And if it happens again, hopefully not, but if it does, water will be just running through the bottom of the wall without damaging too much. More trash. More here. And let's look at the mold. Look how moldy it got in just few days. I was fast. I was just fast to start, opening up, and still. So I cleared the big chunks. I put them in the bags. For the small parts, this shop vac came very handy. If you don't have one, please get one or borrow from someone, from a friend like I did, and it just saved my day. This was really good, but make sure the filter is fitted correctly, otherwise you make a big mess in the room, and I did that too. In terms of mold control, I'm using this product called Concrubium. It's supposed to be so much better than bleach. Bleach kills once and doesn't last too long, but this product's supposed to last very long time and kills the mold and mildew over and over and over. I have several gallons of that, and I also have this. I had this already, but if you don't have it, you should get this. This is a pump spray. It makes the life so much easier, especially if you have a large area to cover. You pump the air out a couple of times, and then it starts to spray effortlessly. You don't have to constantly pull the trigger to spray it. So I covered everything that is open. Soaked it really well with this solution, and once it was dry, I came back and did it again twice. I had several bottles, so I wanted to use them all just to make sure I don't get mold again. They are not too cheap. 1 gallon was actually $32 at Amazon and $36 at Home Depot. So it's cheaper to get it from Amazon. but it's worth it. This is gonna protect the walls for a long time. There's a YouTube channel called Home Renovation. He's not as big as me. He has only 2 million subscribers, but I take his advices. So he recommended this product, so that I thought I would give it a try. I tried to apply the spray behind this sheetrock as much as I could. Of course, there's a insulation, so it's not that easy, but I did my best. I also spray inside the walls with insect spray, just because they were open, just in case for ants and crawling all kind of insects. So this is the situation for now, and this week I'll be covering these up, and that's gonna be another video, and I'm gonna be publishing that next week. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Bye.